Welcome back, all the viewers at 93.7 The Ticket. We are back here live at Memorial Stadium here on this wonderful Wednesday night. To my left, I have one of the internet sensations and Nebraska track stars. She is a long jumper from Montana, currently a fifth-year senior. She goes by the name of Ashley. Ashley, how are you feeling about being on the show tonight?
Very excited to be on the show. Been a long time coming, so thankful to be on.
Hey, man, it took a lot to get her here. I had to put in an invitation to get her scheduled. I got her out here. Me and Ashley, we go way back to, like, my freshman year, her junior year. I remember vividly inside of the training table, I saw her after she got second place and long jump, and I was like, or triple jump, I'm sorry about that, triple jump, and I was like, yo, Ash, nice job. She was like, thanks, and ever since then, we've been real cool friends, messing around on the plane rides, just, like, freestyling in the back of the plane, making jokes, real fun person, and you guys are going to get to know her here tonight. So, Ashley, the first question I'd love to ask all of my guests is, why did you end up choosing the University of Nebraska-Lincoln? You can take it.
Well, Niko, I chose the University of Nebraska-Lincoln because I, first of all, loved the coach on the track team, and I felt like Nebraska was going to be a place where I could get a lot better and receive proper coaching and meet a lot of great people. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very professional. And so for the viewers out there, can you go ahead and describe your marks? I remember in high school, too, you were an absolute stud. You weren't even just a stud within your own event group. You were a stud when it came to the hurdles, when it came to sprinting. They had you on the relays. You kind of had you in a little bit of everything. So go ahead and talk about your high school career and how you ended up getting recruited.
Sure. So when I was in high school, I did a couple sports. So I played basketball, soccer, and track. And then during track in Montana, we were able to do 5 individual events and then 2 relays. So it was a goal of mine to do 7 events at state. And so I did triple jump, long jump, 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, the 100, 4x1, and 4x4. So yeah, just being a multi-sport athlete and then getting to jump and just being lucky to hit some good marks kind of led to me getting recruited here. So, yep.
That is very impressive. In all honesty, I didn't even know they allowed you to do 7 events. I'm pretty sure in Illinois, the standard my coach would even let me do was like 4. But 7 events in one thing, I mean, you had potential to score 70 points. In Illinois, you can win state with like 28 points or 30 points.
We are lacking a few less people than Illinois, so we need.
Still, though.
Yes, but.
Hey, very impressive, Ashley. So I want the viewers and fans to go ahead and get to know you more on a personal level. I want them to start things out. Go ahead and talk to us about your career here in Nebraska, all the way from a freshman to where you are now. I want you to talk about your maturity and growth, just not only as an athlete, but as a person as well. You've been to most Big Ten championships here. You've had a lot of success. You're a very smart student. So go ahead and walk us through kind of your career here at college so far.
Sure. So I came in as a freshman, and I thought I knew about track, and thought I knew about the event, but I was very quickly humbled on how much I didn't know about triple jump and about long jump and just about athletics in general. And so it was a big learning curve, especially going into COVID that year and just, not having the opportunity to get to compete outdoor season. So that changed a lot and kind of was a preview of what life would look like after college athletics, just not getting to compete that season. And I think after that experience, I really just tried to start taking track super seriously and not for granted, and just making sure every day I was putting in maximum effort just so I could look back on my career when I was done and be proud of what I had accomplished and be proud of, the effort I put in. But there was definitely a point in time, probably more my sophomore year, when, every year, probably for every single sport, every single event, they're always bringing in good athletes and good people. And sometimes that can be really exciting, but sometimes it can also be kind of intimidating, especially when you're still trying to, make your way and make a name for yourself at your school. And so there was definitely a point in time where I remember calling my dad and just being like, am I good enough to be here? Do you think I should stay? And more of a rhetorical question, but a little bit of truth behind it, just questioning my ability and, if I could really hang in there with all the other amazing talent we had at Nebraska. And so after that season, I was lucky and I was able to place 3rd at indoor. And so that was really big game changer for me. Just gave me a totally different outlook and gave me a totally different confidence level of just my ability and, being able to rise to the level of competition. So that was really huge for me and kind of a pivotal moment in my career. And yeah, just kind of set the tone for, I guess, the next few years and gave me a realistic idea of what I thought I could accomplish. And so, yeah, that was a pretty big moment. But overall, my experience has been really great, and I have a few things I'd like to cross off this year that I'd like to accomplish. So we'll see if we can get that done, this indoor and outdoor.
No doubt, no doubt. I am a huge fan of what you stand for and all that you have done so far. I remember very specifically last year, I was at the Big Ten Championship. I placed seventh in the 800 and the final, and I was so upset. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Everyone was coming up to me trying to say good job because it was my first time at Big Ten. I didn't want to hear it. And then I was walking past you specifically, and you were like, "Nice job, Niko." I was like, "Thanks, Ash." And I was just trying to walk past you, but then you came up and then just like gave me like a big hug, and like you were just like for that, you were just like supporting, being like such a good teammate, and like in that moment, bro, like I actually needed that because I just was so mad at the world. I hated everything, and that's just the type of teammate Ashley is. She's a very bubbly person, very outgoing person. She's very successful in her sport, and she's also an amazing student. And so I want you to get into that realm a little bit about your academics, where you want to go next year. We do know this is your last year here at the University of Nebraska, but you have a big future ahead of you. Go ahead and tell the people what you like to do for academics.
Sure. So I'm pre-nursing, but just being in college athletics, I can't be competing full-time nursing student while finishing my eligibility. So my degree is human development and family science, and then I have like a psych, soc, and business minor. But after this year, I'll be looking to go to nursing school, and I would like to do an accelerated program just to get my RN in like a year, and then probably work for a little bit, but eventually go back to school and become an NP and open up my own practice. I think that'd be a really awesome opportunity and something I'd really enjoy. So that's kind of where I see myself going. But Nebraska as a whole has really helped with my academics and just offered so much support in so many areas that have made it easy for me to, not easy, but made it available for me to do that, I guess.
Exactly. And not only that, too, you have a really supportive family behind you. I know you mentioned before, too, about how you were kind of doubting yourself a little bit. You mentioned that rhetorical question. You were talking to your parents. You're like, am I even good enough for being here? But at the same time, too, your parents, they're huge supporters. I got the honor of meeting them personally. Super nice people. And I remember one thing specifically. This is actually me and Ash's second podcast together. We did one before. It's called on our Timeless Talks channel if you want to check that out. And she mentioned about how her dad is actually a business owner and how being financially free and being your own boss is actually the way to do things in life. It makes things a lot easier. You get to do vacations more. You kind of get to be in more control of things. And as you heard her say, she does want to open up her own practice, and her dad and her parents kind of did inspire that. Can you talk about your parents' kind of career and their career in sports? I know all your sisters, they're currently athletes as well. Talk to us a little bit about your family life.
Yeah. So my family, sports have been a big part of our lives. My mom did collegiate track, and so she was a hurdler, and then my dad played football in college, and so, yeah, and I have a sister that does collegiate track, and then I have a youngest sister that is hoping to play basketball in college. So, yeah, sports have always been a big part of our life, and just learning from my parents has taught me so many lessons, and, just seeing how the discipline and all the work you put in sports you can put that into your career and how it helps so much and makes a huge difference in the kind of person you can be and just, shapes and changes your work ethic. So I think, sports for my family has just been huge and such a helper in so many areas of life.
We love that. We love supportive families. I believe I've always grown up, and my grandpa's always told me this, but he says that, if your parents try to make you a little bit better than how they were, then the world would be a better place and it'll make the world go around better. And that's, in my eyes, is what your family's doing to you. Like I said, you're a great person. I feel like you've been killing it here at the college level. Super glad I got to meet you. One thing I kind of want to change over to, what is the most difficult part about your day? So you did mention you're pre-nursing, or that's kind of you want to open up your own practice one day. What is the hardest part about your day? Is it the academic side of things? Is it the track side of things? Is it just, walking to class randomly? Like, what's the hardest part for you?
I would say the hardest part now is not track or not school solely, but just it's hard to be in a task because there's so many moving parts. You go to lift, you go to practice, and you're doing that for only a couple hour increments. But sometimes it's hard to buckle down and, commit to schoolwork, and then when you have to leave really quickly to go to track, or so just all the different pockets of time that you have commitment. So it just can be hard to stop, start. I would say that's the hardest. Yeah.
You and a lot of other different athletes, including myself, we have such busy schedules. We're running around all over the place, and each schedule is unique, but none of them are easy. Unless you're a sixth year who completed all your credits and you're just messing around taking one credit class. You're grinding. You're working towards that major. You're working to get better at your sport. Something I do want to mention and share to the viewers, I remember last year you were a viral sensation on TikTok and social media. You completely blew up and took over not only the track world, just the Instagram and TikTok world. You had a lot of doors open for you, business-wise. Can you go ahead and talk about your social media success and, how that's became a part of you now?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was super fun last year, especially like I was super fortunate to just have the opportunity to work with a bunch of different brands and a lot of them being brands that I had, a personal draw to and really thought were cool. So that was amazing. It was just super fun to, tap into that side of things and get to be part of the NIL experience. So yeah, I'm super fortunate I was able to do that, and it's been really fun to kind of navigate that whole new world and everything. And it'll be really interesting to see how NIL changes within the next couple years, even after I'm personally done with athletics. So
Yeah.
excited to see how that turns out.
Exactly. If you haven't had the chance yet, make sure to follow Ashley McElmurray here on TikTok. And if you do, you're going to see a lot of openings. She's always receiving a new package from a new company. Like, hey, guys, trying this on, trying this sponsorship. Whenever I go past this, she's always doing that. Or she's posting a very funny video, her doing voiceover. She does a lot of different things, but it's super cool and it's motivating as well. Just being around her, it's like, all right, she's always got things going. She's always leveling up. You got to keep up. Like, if you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself around successful people. And in all honesty, Ashley is one of those people. She's one of those people that keeps me motivated. Like, all right, you got to keep going. You got to keep grinding. So, Ashley, thanks for pushing me in that realm. And one thing I kind of want to close out this podcast with is, what do you have for the people out there who want to be in your same position now? So you have a lot going for yourself right now. You got a career to look forward to. You're done with your, you're going into the closing stages of your track career. You've had a lot of success with NIL. What do you think it takes for, a high schooler or middle schooler or really anybody out there watching who wants to know, what does it take to be a D1 athlete with so many things going on, and how can you be successful at it?
I think you have to be honest with yourself with what you want, which is like if you decide you want to be a D1 athlete, then you have to seriously set expectations for yourself of how that's going to go. Time management and just so many other factors are a big part of that. So just, yeah, be honest with yourself of what it is you want and then go for it and do things in order to accomplish that goal. I'd say that's the main thing that helped, just being disciplined and keeping your eyes on whatever goal it is you have, and not only setting like long-term goals, but something that I do that helps, especially like during track season. It's really easy to get focused on numbers or wanting to jump a certain mark or something like that, but it's also important to set process goals, so what you're doing along the way to accomplish your long-term goals, because it's sometimes hard to have a lofty goal out there with no way to get there. So setting process goals, being disciplined in what you want to accomplish, and being honest with yourself, I'd say, is huge.
That's a great answer. You've heard from one of the best right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Ashley McElmurray. Ashley, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thanks
you
for
absolutely
having me.
killed it. And yeah, make sure to follow her on her season and all of her social medias. It's just her name. So Ashley, thank you. Have a good day. And to the viewers, peace out.